旅の支度できてるか。リンクスグロー所属、ストルグラシニーです。よろしゅう。モンスト。うるさいな。うるさいな、これ。一回音消すわ。今日は、ザ・スタンリー・パラブルっていう、なんか、指示が出るんだけど、多分パソコンから。その指示を、自分で従うか、この指示を無視して、選択して行動するかみたいな、なんかそういう、ちょっとギャグ性の高いゲームをやろうかなと。まあなんか、エンドがめちゃくちゃ多いらしくて、で、一回終わらすのになんか、数分から十数分みたいな感じらしいので、まあ、1時間ぐらい遊ぼうかなっていう気持ちかな。ではちょっと、めちゃくちゃうるさい音を出そう。じゃあ、やっていこうか。Begin the game。面白いって。やべ、飛ばしちゃった。スキップ押しちゃった。間違えた。This is しか言わなかった。ね、日本語字幕が出るから。あ、もう動ける。やべ、飛ばしちゃった。ちょ。ごめんね。もう一回やらして。しまんね
ー。This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
従業員427番。
427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed
キーボードのボタンを押すだけの仕事。
through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day.
まあだから、これの指示が出たようにボタンを押していくっていう仕事が、多分、このスタンリーの、あれなんだね。スタンリーは幸せでしただって。幸せだったらしい。
And then one day something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley.Something he would never quite forget.
死ぬまで忘れられないような出来事が。
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
完全な指示待ち人間になってしまったのか、スタンリーは。
This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid.Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and
で、このナレーションを多分、あれが今まで指示を出していたみたいな感じなのかな。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
従業員全員、番号で呼ばれてんだ。すごいさ、滑るんだけど。操作が。どこも開かないじゃん。どこも開かないじゃん。会議室どこだよ。会議室に向かうことにしました。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
一応従おうか、最初は。ね。最初なんで。じゃあ。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer
まだ読んでない。
there.
上司のオフィス。ルームクローゼット。
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
すいません、すいません。
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked
階段登るらしい
upstairs
よ。
to his boss's office.
あ、これ赤いランプ。あ、これあれかなんか。非常灯みたいな。
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours.
なるほど
He
ね
might be fired for
そういう風に
And in such a competitive
紐づけるわけ
economy,
ね。
why had he taken that risk?
スタンリー
All
が地下に
because
来た
he
ことを。
believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy.
そう
And
だ
then
な。
something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I
自分
am
が狂っ
crazy.
てるとしか
All
思
of
えな
my
いよな。
co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley
奇妙な
pondered
こと
this,
に気が
he
つい
began
た。
to make other strange observations. For
なん
example,
かループして
why
ね。
couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did
めたい
doors close
めたいこと言ってきたな、
automatically
だんだ
behind
ん。
him wherever he went?
そうだ
And
よ
for
な。
that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty
ルー
familiar.
プしてるよな、
Were they
これ。
simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And
思い
at
当たる
last,
節があったら
he
し
came
い
to。the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue.
ループしてい
He
る。
just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
I'm
This is all a
dreaming!
dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't
この
actually
ループいつになったら終わるんだ。
job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life
そうだ
job
な。
pushing buttons. I may as
まあ、
well
もしこれが
enjoy this
夢なん
while
だ
I'm
とした
still
ら、
lucid.
この夢を楽しんでおい
So,
た方がいいな。
he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
おうおうおうおう、浮き始め
He
た。
imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it
星空。
it
おうおうお
was
う
so much fun. And Stanley marveled that he had
すげえ
still
すげ
not
え。
woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself
お
sooner.
かしいよな。
Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me,
完全
thinking
に
about how it's
考えすぎ
describing
だ
my
な、これ。
thoughts,
スタンリ
he
ー。
thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course,
この声がスタンリーにも聞こえてるんだ。
how could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley
Creepy.
is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all,
これ見たことあるぞ。スーパーリミナルで見たことあるぞ、これ。ここが扉になるんだろう。知ってるぞ、俺は。あ、しゃがめる。違う
How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently
目覚
and
め
he
ようとし
invited
た。
himself to wake up.
ね。布団を
He
ね
felt the cool、
イメー
weight
ジ
of
し
the
て
blanket on
強
his
く。
skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he
ああ、
thought to
今日
himself.
もいい朝だなって
I'm
い
through with
う
this
ね。
dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my
隙間から
job.
こう微妙に見え
Let me
る。
continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job.
あ、
All I want
奥
is
さ
my
んいるんだ、
life
スタンリ
exactly the
ー。
way
結
it's
婚
always
してんだね。
been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
すべてうまくいくは言い過ぎだろ。
I am
モンスト。
okay.
はい、夢から目覚めました。おはようございます。
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My
うるさくねうるさくねちょっと。
name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am
ちょっとうるさくねこんぐらい
real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I?
やばいやばいやばいやばい。狂ってきた狂ってきた。
And everything went black.
え
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
マリエラ急にスタンリーじゃない話
Mariella
始ま
woke
っ
up on a
た。
day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town,
急にわけわかんない
talking and
話始まったんだけど。
and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she
あ、これスタンリーなのかな？
Everyone knows what
これスタンリーか。
crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am
狂った人を見
I
て
am in
自分が
control
狂ってないことに安心すると
I
いう。
know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that
何ルー
day.
ト
The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension,
マリエラも人が悪いよ
she
な。
had no time for this.
狂って道端に倒れて死んだ人を見て、あ、よかった、自分はまともな人間なんだ、っつって安心する。まあ、人間らしいけどな。えマジかよ。今ので、あそこ、地下に行っただけで、1ルート回収したってこと？
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
ウケる。
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
疑うか、あそこはな。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door.
上司のオフィスに向かおう。ちゃんと。スタンリー死んじゃうから、あそこ地下行ったら。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
上がりますね。
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked
だったら死
upstairs
ぬ
to
ら
his
しいか
boss's
ら。
office.
死にたくねえよ。誰だってな。エクセキューティブバスルーム。開かない。なんか上司のオフィス、すげえ豪華絢爛じゃない？え、高っ！いや
Stepping
ね。
into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
本棚の間が空いてんのすげえ気になるんだけ
Stanley
ど。
wondered in disbelief
あと詰めてほしい。
what dark secret
本棚
was being
1個分
held
ぐらい
from
開くでしょ。これ1
What
個
he
いらないで
could
しょ、
not
こ
have
の
known
ワ
was
ン
the
本棚。
keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an
キーパ
extra
ッドには秘密の暗証番号
secret number
2845。
2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
え？デスクの後ろのキーパッド？やばい！聞いてなかった！聞いてなかった！やばい！
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs.
何？
Trying to input anything on the
ここか。
device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the
違う違う違う。
combination was 2845.
2845。
Yet
あれ？
incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to
偶然だな、こりゃ。
by sheer luck. Amazing.
こりゃたま
He
げたぜ
stepped。into the newly opened passageway.
どこに通路現れたん？こっちか。なんだここは。いや、知りよしもねえな。なんかバイオハザード味を感じるんだけど。ロード入った。
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
お、なんか
It was
異
a
変を感
stirring
じ
of
始めた。
emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question
もう
the
機
nature
械になっちまってるんだ。
Why did he feel this now?
人間は機
When
械
for
になっちまっ
years,
た。
it had never occurred to him. This question would not go unanswered for long.
ケンスラかな？大賢者、教えてくれ。
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large
Mind
door that
control
read
facility.
Mind control facility.
なんだここは。マインドコントロールされちまっていたのか、俺は。
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television
何ここ？
screens. What horrible secret did this place hold?
武道館？
Stanley thought
武
to
道館？
himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
こういうところでよくジャニーズがライブしてるような。 ワイヤーで空舞ってるよな。
Now the monitors jumped to
何これ
their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee
やば。
in the building. Stanley's co-worker.
逆に見づらいだろこれ。
Lives of so many individuals
360度あったら
images on a screen.
逆に見づらいだろ。
One of them,
ここに360個あった方が分かりやすいだろ。
freedom meant nothing.
360個じゃねえわ。なんだ、600って書いてあった最後。ここに600個あった方が分かりやすいだろ、このデスクに。360度逆に見づらいと思うけどな。あそことか。何？
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this
まあでも満足できているならそれはそれで幸せなんじゃないの？幸せでしたって言ってたしな。幸せでしたって言ってたんだから別にいいじゃねえか。ブルーマンショー始まるな。
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life
ブルーマンショーやんこれ。ブルーマンショー始まってんな。ハリボテの世界で。
Controls labeled with emotions.
え？
Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working.
マジで？
All of it monitored and commanded from this.
すべて命令されていたの
As
か。
the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
とんでも技術じゃ
For
ん
he
これ。
would dismantle
と
the
んでも技
controls
術。
once and for all.
ファシリティパワー。バカデカモニター。ニーヤオートマタにこんなところあったな。システムパワー。どうしよっか。さっきなんか従わなかったらスタンリー死んじゃったから従っとこう。
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
やり遂げた？きっとやり遂げる？
Yes. He had won. He had defeated
Oh.
the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
いや、だとしてもさ、従業員がなんで消えたの
Even
かわ
as the
かんなく
immense
ね？
door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers
そうそうそう。
How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries
何
did
も
this strange building
何も
hold?
教わってないけど。
But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not
いやいや、
knowledge
幸せを
of
求めていたって言うけどさ、幸せだったんでしょ？指示待ち人間で。このゲート開くの遅っ。
Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
うわ、何ここ？
That was all he
めっちゃ綺麗じゃん。
It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through
編
the
成、
open
マジでこれ RPG 始まる？
door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant
なん
to
か
happen.
妙に壮大だよな。
And Stanley was happy.
幸せだったらしい。Beat the Game っていう実績もろたわ。あ。夢だったのか。
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's
や
what
れや
I
れ。
need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them
全
all.
く奇妙な夢を見たもんだ。よし。まず最初の選択肢である。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
従業
well.
員用のラウン
Perhaps
ジ
he
に立ち寄
wanted
っ
to
てそ
stop
の
by
様
the
子を見たかっ
employee
た。
lounge first, just to admire it.
誰もいないね。もう呼吸するように指示を 無視していく。
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the
廊下の左側にある最初のドアを通りました。何ですかここは。
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
すげえ言われてんじゃん。言われた通りにするのが苦手だった。開かないけど。こっち開いてんじゃん。何年も前に解雇されなかったのが不思議ですって。
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really.
話しかけてきてるじゃん、もう。
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be
もう
difficult.
諦めて話しかけてきてる、こい
The
つ。
story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please.
なんかかわいそうになってきた。
Every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me. I'm asking.
彼女って誰？さっきの、
This is it,
なんだっけ
Your chance to redeem yourself.
マイエラみたいな名前の人。
To let her back into
何
your
ここ真っ
life.
暗。
She's been waiting.
おい。びっくりした。
Her, Stanley.
もしもしもしもし
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right.
開けろ
Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
何
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had...
おいおいおいおいおい。
Then
なんだ
why
こい
make
つ
their life
言い過ぎだろ。
to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
こいつスタンリーに対してちょっと厳しくない？
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
スタンリーは結局、おはよう従業員427。キーボードの8を押してください。4。あ、8を押さなきゃダメっぽ
Stanley
い。
is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes
仕
is a
事は
reminder
彼を
of the
必要としていませ
inconsequential
ん。
nature of his existence.
で
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing
Oi.
a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's
俺が
going
今やってる
home.
ことがスタンリーと同じだっていうの
He's
か
coming back to work.
言われたから
One
押して
might
るっ
even
てい
feel
う、
sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
そういう皮肉たっぷりだな、これ。
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the
か
unknown.
わいそうなやつみたいな。
Fantastic discoveries of new lands.
ひどい言われよう
It was
は。
wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
テレビを見るにはいい。
And so he began to fantasize about his own job.
どこテレビ？
First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers,
最初から全て空想だったということなのか。
everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
息子たちと一緒に過ごすには V をしてくだ
So
さい。
he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either.
Oh.
At last, choice. It barely
一番
even
最初の。
mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
ディナーの準備をするには Z。
As he wandered through this
部
fantasy
屋変わった
world,
わ。
he began to fill it with many possible paths and
い
destinations.
やいや、俺まだルートとエンディング
Down one path
2個しか見てないですけ
led
ど。
an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down
黄色い
another
ライ
was
ン
a
も
yellow
赤ん坊の
line
ゲームがある
leading
ル
in
ート
many
もわかり
directions.
ませんけど、
And down
僕。
another was a game with a baby.
知らないん
And
で
he
すけ
called
ど。
it the Stanley Parable.
ほう。
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he
なるほ
might
ど。
always feel this free.
この
Surely there's an answer
公
down
式
some
ネ
deep
タバレやめてくれ
path.
よ。
Maybe, perhaps if he played just one more time.
妻に愛していると告げるには8を押してください。
But there
愛
is
して
no
る。
answer. How could there possibly be?
おい、
In reality, all he's
愛
doing
してるっ
is
て言え
pushing
よ。
the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
うわ。眠るには
And
6。
I'm trying to
おや
tell
す
you
み。
that in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here,
Stanley.
watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do
絶対に
not
従わないよ
do
う
it.
に。いや、仕事はしたくないよね。仕事はしたいや、もう
You see?
押すよ、俺は。
Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every
やばい、
second
どん
he
どん
remains
自分の
here
デスクに
is
引き戻されてい
electing to
く。
kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
疑問を捨てるには8。
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him.
結構11時半か。結構夜も更けてるな。
Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time.
寂しがり屋なのか。死んでください。
And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again.
死んでください言われてますけど。
And I tried.
ええサンディは指示に従ったということなの
A
か。
soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started. And if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
あれなんかナレーション変わってる。ナレーション変わってるぞ。え閉まった。あ、これ閉められるんだ。なるほどね。さあ、
When Stanley came to a set of two
左行っ
open
てみよう。
doors,
左
he
行っ
entered
て
the、door on his left.
選択してない選択肢あったっけ？
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a
なんかどっ
wave
か
of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
上
Coming
行
to a
って、
staircase, Stanley
上司
walked
のオフィス行
upstairs
っ
to his
て、
boss's office.
なんか選択してない選択肢。
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication
ほ
of
ら
any
ほらほらほらほらほ
human
ら。
life.
なんかこれ
What
押し
could
ま
it
くったらなんか
mean?
なるとか。
Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf,
なん
looking
だっけこ
behind
こ。
paintings,
2845。
desperate for clues to his
なんだっけこ
situation.
こ。
But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the
コンス
boss's
ト。
desk. What could its
ごめ
purpose
ん。
be?
これなんだっけ
In
数字。
fact, this keypad
2845
guarded
だ。
the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet.
ここでさ、
Stanley was in such a
最
rush
後
to get through the story as quickly as possible.
一刻も
he
早く
didn't
物
even
語
have
を
a
終わら
single
せようと
minute
焦っ
to
ている。
just let the narrator talk. That kind of
いや、わからないんだ
anxiety
けど。
isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some
ニュ
calming
ーエイ
new
ジ
age
ミュージッ
music.
クでリラックスするか。落ち着いたニューエイジミュージックっていう字幕出てくるのはおもろいんだけど。まあ、落ち着くわ。
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward
ほら、開
into
け。
the opened passageway.
ちょっとネタバレの元を知りたいんだけど、俺は。なんかここ、暗闇。これ以上進めない？そう、あのネタバレされたところは回収してやりてえ。分岐がね、マジで結構あるらしくて、10個ぐらいあんのかな？多分。結構あるっぽいんだよね。
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
最後のボタンをさ、オフじゃなくてオンにしてみようぜ。
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with
いいんだよ、
television
もう。
screens.
武道館は
What
見たから。
horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jump to life, their true nature revealed.
もう見たってさっ
Each
き。
bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
さてと。
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was
ナレーションの
unthinkable.
人毎回
Wasn't
変わ
it?
ったりしたら面
Was it
白いの
even
にな。
possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content.
マインドコントロールボタン。
Working. All of it monitored and
パワー
commanded
オンにしてみるか。
And as the cold reality
さ
of
っ
his
きはなんか
past began to
冒
sink
険
in,
アドベンチャー
Stanley
に出れ
decided
た
that
から
this
な。
machinery
はい
would... Oh, Stanley. You didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do.
この世の王になる。
Let it go. Turn the controls off and leave. If you want to
俺がこの
の
会社の人間のマインドをすべてコントロールしてやろう。
don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
核爆発装置。
Detonation then, let's say,
おいおいおいおいおいおいおい。
now this is
おいおいおいおい。
more fun, isn't it?
死んじまうじゃねえか。
Your time to shine. You are the star. It's
ちょ
your
っと待って
story now. Shape it to your heart's desires.
なんでこの施設核なんてあるんだよ。
What I had in mind. What a shame we have so little
あ、なんか
time left to enjoy it.
あれ俺こっちから来たんだっけ。
Mere moments until the bomb
え、
goes
閉まったんだけど。
off. But what precious moments
ちょっと
one of them is. More time
すい
to
ません。
talk about you, about me, where we're
すいません。
going, what
すい
all
ませ
this
ん。
means.
助けてください。
I don't know where to start. What's that?
誰か
I'd like to know where
誰かいない
the
な。
filters are.
この核止め
A
て。
moment of solace before you're obliterated.
何これ。
All right, I'm in a good
Young.
mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them.
お、
I erased them. I turned
私
off
が
the
彼らを
machine.
消
I
し去っ
set you
たんで
free.
す。
Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office
なるほどね。
forever, pushing buttons endlessly.
そういう
and
世
then
界もあってもいいだろう
dying
と。
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it
すげえ
burn
残虐だな。
I have to say this though, this version of events has
今
been
回のイベントはかなり面
quite
白い方です。
What
君
you
が考
try
えを
to
巡
make
らせ
sense
制
of
御と
everything
要素として
and
いる
take。back the control wrested away from you.
そんなこと言われても
I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left.
楽しいのはお前だけだ。俺は死にたくね
You
え。
know
どうすればいいんだこ
what?
れ。
With it. I'm going to put some extra time on
え
the clock. Why not? These are
増えたんだけど。
precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
増えたんだけど。ライアーゲームみたいな BGM 流れてる。
Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
もうあると
Did
思
you
ってるけ
just
ど。
assume when you saw that time
ダメ
that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on
どうでもいいものを
everything
クリ
in this room.
バレてんだけど、俺のやってること。
Oh, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me.
やばい。すべてお見通しだこいつには
That。this video game can be beaten? One solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley.
なんだこれ、壮大すぎんか
Disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't
ネタバレを一つ。あのタイマーは君をせかすためのものではありません。ただ単に君が死ぬまでの秒数を刻んでいるだけです。
You're only still playing
なんてこった。
cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you make
こいつとんでもねえぞ。
This is not a challenge.
サイコ野郎だ。
Tragedy. You wanted to control
とんでもねえサイコ野郎。
Fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
ああ、終わった。
That's 30 seconds
終わった。
30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending.
そこにはエンディングもありません。終わった。
Desperately to your frail life. Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice.
あ
Or don't. It's
なんだこいつ。
all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever up.
なんだこいつ。
All of his co-workers were gone.
やられた。
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
あいつ、爆発落ちなんて最低。
When Stanley came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room.
今度もう一回右に行ってみよう。
And Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes.
Wow.
This room.
Yes.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
あ、俺そういえばこっち行ってないな。
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked
正しいル
straight
ートに
ahead
戻
to
り
the
ました。
opposite door and
あ、
got back
戻り
on
たくないっ
track.
す。何これエレベーターある。正しいルートに戻らないよ、俺はも
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and
う。
get
こっち
even
に戻るため
further
で、
off track.
あ、こ
So
う
now in
来
order to
て
get、back, he
こ
needed
こか
to
ら
go
左だ。マジで TRPG のキーパーじゃん。
left. Oh no, no, it's to the right. My mistake.
あ、じゃあレフト行きます。レフト行きます。レフトー
No, no, no,
あ
no, not the right.
なんだこいつ。
Why would I ever said it was to the
狂っ
right?
ちまったか。
Was I thinking? It's clearly.
レフトー
Now let's see. We went down.
台本あるんだね。
Right, left, down, left, right. Yep. Okay. Yes.
OK?
I've got it now. This story is
パンパン。
absolutely, definitely this way.
正面だったの。こっちで合ってんだね。本当に。次、お、本当だ
No, 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 no.
あ、
This
ネタ
isn't
バレ。
right at all. You're
ネ
not
タバ
supposed
レ
to
だ。
be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley,
そうだ
close
よ。だ
your
って
eyes.
上司のオフィスとか来てないんだもん。
Okay. We just have to get back to Oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now.
諦めた。
The whole story completely unusable.
諦めやがったこいつ。さっきあんな楽しそうにしたのに。
Time trying to salvage this nonsense. We'll just restart the game from the beginning.
ゲームを最初からやり直
Suppose
そ
we
う。
don't wander so far off track, hmm? Okay. From the top.
リセットされた。俺の意思とは関係なしに。
All of his co-workers
めんどくさくなったから。
What could it mean?
お前めんどくさくなったからってリセットするのどうかと思うぞ。
Perhaps he had simply
それ。
missed a memo.
オートセーブだったらどうすんだよ。
When Stanley... Wait.
え
Wait.
何
What?
何ドア開かないんだけど。
No, I restarted.
Oh.
I swear I definitely
リセットできて
restarted
な
the
い。
game over, completely fresh. Everything should be...
いざまあ。
Change. Stanley, did you change anything when we were back
ど
in
こ
that
も
room
開かない
with
ね。
all the monitors?
このドアの前に椅子置いてんのやばいだろ。
Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. Was right here
そう
just
だ
a
よ。
minute
お前が
ago.
作ったんだろこ
I'm
のストー
not
リー。
sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley.
全部開いた。
Let's find the story.
お、いいんすか自由に探索して。迷路みたいなオフィスだな。やばくないえなんかループしてないしてないやっぱこれ絶対戻れないぞ。え、なんかループしてないやばい。やばい。どこだここ どうなってやがる？
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before.
ここ、戻ってこれた。
Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again.
全部君の責任でしょ。
Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
またリセットされた。命がもったいないだろ。そんなお前。簡単にリセットできると思うなよ。リセットさんも切れるぞ、そんなの。おらーっつって地面からモリモリって出てくるぞ。ほら、ドアなくなっちゃったじゃん。何やってんだよ。モンスター。
Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
お前の責任だろうがよ。ドアに挟まった。何
Aha! I knew we'd miss something.
ストーリーだ。来るぞ。
Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind.
おいおい。
Okay, let's head back the other way.
本が過ぎるだろ。長くないっていうか、このストーリー。なんか道変わってんだけど。
Now this, well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at
正
all.
直全く見覚えがありません。
I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office
いや、
building.
覚えてるよ。
Is that
オフィ
correct?
スビルでしょ。
Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
しゃあ、俺の勝ち。
Work, and it really paid off. So, good.
はい、お前の負け。
Oh no. No, I don't feel right about this at all.
何の努力もしてないんじゃないかはちょっと
Work for that win. Some
ひどくない？
fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
勝利っていうのは突然訪れるものでもあるんだよ。
I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
リスタートしすぎだろ。あ、これあれ、さっき言ってた
I've got a solution.
黄色いラインじゃない？
To make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the
ラインに
help
従って
of the
従ってください。
Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How
はい
simple is that?
でもさっきこんなルートじゃなかったと思うんだけど。正規ルート。
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward,
運命の
Stanley,
地へ。
to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is
なん
the
か
story of no
哲学
destination
的なこと考え始め
still
た。
a story?
なんか階段登りすぎじゃね？
Simply by
こんな
the
登
act
ったっ
of
け？
moving forward, are we implying a journey
どうやっ
such
て
that
行くんだよ、
a
ここは。
destination is
こうや
inevitably
って。
conjured into being via the very
やばいやばい。
manifestation of the
運命が
nature
ね
of
じれ
life
始めてい
itself?
る。
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang
う
on.
ぼぼぼぼ
A
ぼ
bit
ぼ。
weird back there? Well, I'd like to apologize.
いや、お前だけじゃなくて矢印も迷走してるわ。
You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
うわ、壮大な、なんかディズニーみたいなミュージック。うるさい、うるさい。うるさいうるさいんじゃ。音楽が、うるさい。俺の音も割れちまうよ。うるさいんじゃ。だだだだだだだだだ。
Cut the music. Go back and look at that fern.
え
Wait, what?
死だ。
We're back at the office? No, no, no. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Ah.
Oh, no, 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 not again. Line,
ネタバレ。
how could you have done this to us?
ネタバレ
After
始
we
まった
trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Well,
何回リセットすんだよ、お前。リセットさんに怒られるって。
Restart.
あ、あるやん、ライン。もう何も喋んなくなる。
Stanley, I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right?
消せよ、じゃ
Why
あ。
can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about
どっち？
this direction?
お、こっち？本当？本当だろうな。
Yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be
あ、こ
anything.
れはなんか行き止まりの予
What
感。
our story to be? Go wild.
え
Use your
待って。
imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for
え、
it.
なんか。え。あ、一本道になってるかと思ったけど、どうなってんだこれ。
Oh no, not
Oh
you
no.
again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome
ライン
new
に出会って
story.
しまった。
No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
それ TM は無視しよう。あ、どっか行った。何これ初めて見た。
A choice. We get to make a decision.
ありすぎだろ、
From
こ
here,
れ
the story is in
見出し
our control.
何入ってん
How
だよ。
important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here.
ちょっ
Just
と
walk
ぐる
in
ぐる歩きま
circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere
歩き回る
the place
必
where
要が
we're
果た
trying
してある
to
のか、これ
go,
は。
there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds
ドアの表側と
with that
逆側の裏側の反対側と
reverse
一致
door
するという
origin.
ことだ。
So starting from
バカ
the
になっちゃっ
right,
た。
let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one.
論理のロの字もないんだよな。
Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
デスティニーが待ってるらしい。え
Oh, hold up, what's this?
混乱エンド
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game what, eight
ナレーターが死ぬ。
times?
最後ナレーターが死
Really
ぬら
how
しい。
all this goes?
俺が今、
Determined?
ここか。
So now,
ここに
according
いる
to
ん
the
だ。
schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes
16分もや
blank
ってんのかよ、
simply
この
because
ル
it's
ート。
written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I
全
get
部
a
分かっ
say
ち
in
まっ
all
た。
of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't
おい、
want
ど
to
うすんだよ。
be
俺は
trapped
こ
like
こで
this.
一生朽ちるっていうの
I
か。
won't restart the game.
こんなところで。
I won't do it. I won't do it. I
ハンディ
won't
のことも
do
考
it.
えろよ。
And the time return stopped.
え
Does that mean did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
なんか不穏な空気漂ってきたよ。
So, okay.
OK。
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination
ど
or
っ
the
ちのドアを
journey.
進んで
But
も
they're
繋が
all
ってたん
saying
だ
that
な、こ
life
こ
is
に。
about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now.
あ、もう
We'll
諦め
find out,
始めちゃっ
won't we?
た。
Eventually. Well, in the meantime,
あもうやだ、俺。俺はここで仕事を続ける。
Stanley couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This
俺はこ
couldn't
こで
go
仕事を
anywhere
続ける
except
ぞ。
badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell.
もうここで
But the
数
one
時間、
thing
数
he knew for
日、
sure, beyond any doubt, was that if
数
he
年
waited
経ってる
long
ことにな
enough,
ってる。
the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon,
このナレーターも絶対的な存在ではないんだね。
he will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
え何もうやだ、俺は。俺は一生ここにいるんだよ。ここで仕事を続ける俺は。ええい やばい、ドア閉じたら何も言ってくれないし何もできなくなっちまった。マジっすか？あ。これ多分もう無理なやつだ。ドアを閉じてもダメと。多分あれも一つのエンドなのかな。引きこもって。
When Stanley came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
自分でリセットさせるっていう。
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
もうここの先にまだなんかあると思うんだよな。
Stanley was so bad at following directions.
もうそうね、同僚とかどうでもいいね。あ、こっちにもルートあるじゃん。さっき俺上行ったよな。下ないのルート。あ、下もあるじゃん。下行こうか。
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
自殺してもうた。意図せず飛び降り自殺してもうた。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
いやいやいや、あのぐらいの高さなら死なないでしょ、ゲーム。大体。っていう先入観で自分を殺してしまった。自殺エンド30秒ぐらいで終わったな。
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
次はじゃあ、右の扉行ってみるか。あっち。こう降りたら死ぬっぽいからな。上もあるんだよね。上どうやって行くんだろう、あれ。上。あそこ、まあでも開いてんな。あそこだけだよな。でさ、こっから行けるんじゃね？はっしゃー。話の途中だっただろ。リアリー？自殺 RTA。美しいもの。あれこれ。あ、違うわ。赤と青の扉がある。意図せずサムネイルの文字と全く同じ配置、全く同じ色にして。赤いドアを通ったって、俺は青いドアを通るよ。なんだって？巻き戻されたぞ。こいつ禁じて使ってきてる。あ、おい。青いドア消滅させられた。こんな。こんなネオンつけて、お神を感謝します。すいませんでした。すいませんでした。またぐるぐるしてるやん。またぐるぐるしてるやん。幸せになれるらしいけどさ、ぐるぐるしてんのよ、なんか。どこ？ここ？真っ暗やん。破滅に向かってない？何？広大な宇宙が広がっている。なんて美しい。ライブ会場。幸せらしい。何ですかこれ。
No, wait. Where are you going?
すいません、ちょっと 仕事に戻ります。
Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself,
何階段登ったら死ぬの？
the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
ねえねえ、死ぬのこれ。
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
あ、なるほど。オッケー。
No!
え、生きてんだけど。生きてんのかい？
Thank God, you lived. You had me worried.
もう一回ぐらい飛び降りてみようか。
No, no, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me.
めちゃ
I can't go
めちゃ
back
くちゃ
to
困
what
って
I
る。
was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you
俺
doing
は
this?
知りたいんだよ。おい、死ねないんかい。
Let's go back to the other room.
死ねない
Can
ん
you
か
do
い。
that for me?
な
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself in
鋼の
this
精
platform
神
over
力。
and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading
俺はお前が
the situation
嫌いなんだよ。
correctly?
全然死ねない。
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't
わかったわかった。
know.
戻る
Do
っ
you
て。
actually want to stay alive?
ごめんな。
Or are you just teasing me?
なんかすげえカラフルになってんだけど。すいません
I
ね
wanted。us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did.
はい。
I wish I still
幸せになろう。
thought that was possible.
ここで。ここで、俺とお前、ずっと二人でいよう。幸せになるんだよ。なんも起こんねえじゃねえか。なあ。プロポーズではない。何も言ってくんなくなっちゃった、もう。なあなあ、飛び降りるぞ。いいのか？飛び降りるぞ。
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going.
もう諦めてんじゃん。よし。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
なんか、もう一個ぐらいやっ
When
て
Stanley
終わろう
came to
か
a。set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
はい、
Perhaps he wanted
は
to
い、
stop
海
by
外
the
日記。
employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded,
ネキかも
butterflies
し
in
れん。
his stomach, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his
ナ
left.
レーターさんかわいそう。でもこいつに決められた
Stanley was so bad at following
ねえ、
directions
選択を
that he
取らなければ
really
いけないなん
wasn't
ていう
fine
決まりは
years
ない
ago.
から。俺は俺の道を行く。
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it,
待って。
Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself.
なん
To
か電
put
話の
your
方
work
で
aside.
なんかできそうだ
To
けど
let
な。
her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her,
さっき
Stanley.
電話取ったけ
You
ど、
need to be the one to do this.
電話取らないっていう選択肢。
If you can truly place your
あ
faith
あ
in an...
これ抜けんじゃない？
No, 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 you can't. Did you just unplug the phone?
抜きました。
That
すいま
wasn't
せん。
supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly?
よし
I didn't
これで
even know that was
帰ろうか。
possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the
いやいや
two
いやいや。
pledge themselves to
いやいや、
one
さっき
another.
死んだけど。
Music comes in,
電話取ったら。
fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
え、現実の人間らしい。
I can't believe I was so mistaken.
そう、俺は指示待ち人間ではない。ただ指示に従うだけの男ではない。めっちゃ喋るやん。教育ビデオ。一旦ゲームを止めて君に現実への意思決定プロセス。教育ビデオ見せられる。ああ。
It's the best part of being a real person, but if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice.
Stephen
He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back sack and crack."
Yeah. Practice.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
はい。なんすか。教育される。
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform.
免許更新。研修くらいだるくてさ。意味もなく死ぬ主人公。すみませんね。現実に送り返してくれるみたい。何回か俺意味もない死をだからな。身を投げ出した。帰りましょうか。
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending. The story will have resolution.
君は左のドアを選択して正しいエンディングに戻ります。
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
開かないんだけど。やだー。やなんだけど、こっち行くの。やられた。あ、台無しになってる。
My story. You've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage?
Yeah. 面白いよ。
It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way.
苦悩してん
To
な
shut the game down entirely, to willingly destroy all of my work. I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I? No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
あ、やめろ、リセットするな。え？打ち壊れてるけど。
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You.
ひどい言われ。
So clever.
ひどい言われ
Now look where we
よ。
are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground.
ごめんな。
Did you think that would be funny?
いや、悪かっ
Just
た
had
っ
to
て。
see? Didn't I impress upon you how important
Yeah,
it was to be
ごめんっ
like
て。
Stanley?
ごめんっ
He
て。
actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if
Yeah.
I say to do
ごめんっ
something,
て。
there's a damn good reason for it.
いや、ごめんって
That。thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world
いや、
outside of you.
いや、悪かったって。興味本位だったんだよ。
My story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole
ただ興味
underground
本位で
facility.
さ、
You
ちょ
would
っ
have
と
destroyed
従
it
わない
and
ル
been
ートに行ってみたかったん
victorious.
だ
It
っ
would have
て
been。so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so
苦労
hard.
し、ごめんな。そう。
Behave exactly as Stanley would.
Oh.
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
ね、今度はちゃんと左にそのまま進もう。かわいそうだからね。お、
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
これ長くね、なんかこのルート。なんか変わってんだけど部屋。
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an
部屋が変
indication
わっ
of
て
any
て。
human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who
ドアの
orchestrated
ボイスレ
this
シーバー。
until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability,
ナイトシャーク
he knew the
115。
passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week.
いやいや、喋れなくねでも。
115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out.
俺がやるか。
Stanley had been trained never to
Night
speak
Shark.
up, but now he would
115.
draw from within himself the courage to
開かない
face
け
the
ど。
unknown.
あれ？
He drew a sharp
あ、
breath
はい。
and then spoke the code.
Night Shark 115。え、ダメじゃないえ違うんすか違うんすか
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
声出せないって。Night Shark 115。
I'm sorry, is there a
な、
problem? You didn't mishear me, did
いや
you?
違う違う。
Please
スタンリーが
speak
喋ってくれないんだっ
the
て。
receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a
俺は言ってんだよ。ちゃんと。俺は言ってんだけど。すいません。
Okay, fine. You're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty
いやいや。
humiliating to bring you this far.
この
Only
テ
for
イ
you
ス
to
トじゃ
suddenly
ないとダメ
decide
で
you
し
had
ょ。
better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing for your respect.
ごめんっ
The
て。
kind of
俺はや
respect
ってんだよ、で
Stanley
も。
shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here?
い
You
や
had a choice,
さっき
you know.
右の
You
ドア
could have gone
通ったら
through the door on the
怒られ
right.
たや
You could
ん。
have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way?
何やっても怒られるじゃん。
Explain yourself, you coward. When
何こ
Stanley
こ
came to a set of
あ、
two open doors, he entered
紙
the
視
door
点。
on his left.
スタンリー
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley,
紙視点だ。
I need you to make a choice.
あ、え、
I need you
ジ
to
エン
walk
ド。
through the door. Are you listening to me?
全部
Can you hear me?
クレジット出始めたぞ。クレジット出始めたぞ。
The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please.
いや、このナレーションさ、ちょっとかわいそうだけど、言い過ぎだから、ところどころ。
This is more important than you can ever know.
流れ始めちゃったんだけど。
The story needs it. So,
魂の、
you hear me?
肉体と魂の分
Are
離。
you there? Are you listening?
幽体離脱。
Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice
単に
is
微動だにしてない。
the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do.
このさ、
As time as you need.
悲しそうな声出すのやめてほしい。クレジット終わったけど。あ。はい、じゃあ、ということでね。まあ、ちょうどキリがいいので。多分、あと、3つぐらい。最低でも3、4ぐらい。コンスト、でももう終わりなんだわ。3、4ぐらいはね、ルートがあると思うから、まあ、気になった人はね、自分でやって、楽しんでみて。これめっちゃおもろいな。この、終わりです。残念ながら。残念ながら終わりです。このスタンリー、運気細かかったね。スタンリーパラブル以外にも、なんだっけ、ビギナーズガイドとかも買ってあるから、そのうちやる予定かな。ということで、あんまり期待しないで見に来た君たち、意外とおもろいやんと思ったはず。チャンネル登録、高評価、Twitter のフォローお願いします。終わり。では、また次の配信で会おう。またなー。